All right, 12:02 on the Oil Stream, presented to you by Boston Pizza, where kids eat for free in September. Oh, a September to remember with kids eating for free. Thank you very much for being here. It's Nielson and Gazzola with you. And camp is just around the corner.
What up, dog?
The boys right now are sitting out there in the main part of the office watching a rookie game.
Did you see what I did?
No, I didn't see what you did.
I didn't know they were logged in under my account, and I went to go turn the rookie game on my...
And you turned it off?
Yeah.
Oh, what a jerk move.
Joaquin was not happy.
But you didn't do it on purpose.
No, I didn't know they were
It's not like
using
we're
my
going to
account.
watch a live game while we're doing the show anyway.
Right, I was going to keep tabs, but whatever.
Let us know if there's any sweet updates, guys. There really hasn't been many so far.
No, they
in
have
this in this tournament, right?
Lackluster tournament. So far.
Whatever. It's
Good point.
yeah. K. Gill says, yeah, rookie game 3's on. Yeah, we know. We have it. It's right on the TV, right out there in the main office. So things happen. We will we'll keep you up to date. How was Oil Stream on Friday, buddy?
Oil Stream on Friday was good. Nanso.
Did you do rankings?
We did rankings. Yeah,
Nice.
we proceeded with rankings. Not much controversy. A stir, like, people were talking
Let me
about.
see. What'd you do? 15 to 11?
Yeah, we did
bring it
15
up
to
there.
11. So I don't know. I haven't had your reaction to it because you said you had some.
I like to have the odd bone to pick, right?
Yeah.
Let's see here. Let me bring them up. I just have the ones that we're going to do today in front of me,
15 to
so-
11, not 16 to 11.
Yeah, 15 to 11 rankings and points. Here we go.
Yep.
So it's loading slowly.
Oh, I have it. Do you
Okay,
want
yeah, give it to me
Matthias Janmark at 15.
Okay.
Connor Brown at 14.
Okay, I stopped there.
Okay.
Oh, Matthias Janmark. Sorry, I was thinking Ekholm. I was like, what? No, go ahead. Continue.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Okay,
sorry.
you're processing
I
this?
totally was like, my God, Ekholm at 15?
Wrong Matthias.
Okay, go ahead. I
Vander
almost
Kane
blacked
at
out there for a
13.
second. Yeah.
Brett Kulak at 12. And Victor Arvidsson at 11. And I added a caveat to Arvidsson because...
What? We're doing caveats on the rankings of importance now?
We can.
Okay.
It's our show.
All right.
It's my list.
That's true. It's your list.
Yeah. The caveat was interchangeable with number 10, Arvidsson is. Because I want to prevent any, like...
You can wait a
looting.
second. I understand the caveat here, but the caveat could be one spot higher on the list. This is why you have a list.
Do you not recall Yamamoto Archibald Gate?
Yeah, but why don't you just put an asterisk next to everybody then and be like, they could be different
That
places
defeats
on the
the
list.
purpose.
Oh, that's a cop out. You're copping out on your own list.
I disagree.
Oh my goodness. You believe this?
I stand by
I go
this
away
list.
for one Friday and this is what happens.
I stand by this list.
We're getting asterisks on the list.
A caveat, not an asterisk.
Well, same thing, is it not?
Yeah.
It's kind of the same
Sure,
thing.
fine.
If you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us. Sub to the channel if you have not yet already. We're closing in on 10.2 subs. We'd like to get there relatively short time, so let's hammer that.
Let's go.
Over there as well. And it is the Oil Stream brought to you by our partners at Boston Pizza. Are you ready for the ESTYs tomorrow, Tom?
Yes, very excited. We are busting out our best formal wear.
Yes,
I
we
tried
are.
on the tux
You
that
did,
I hadn't
eh?
worn in 5 years.
Whoa, and how did it fit?
It fit.
What?
Yeah.
Screw you, Tommy.
Ah,
I got a tux last week. It might not even fit still.
I'm still like,
Unbelievable, this guy.
when you're telling me that like parts of it, you're like, I don't know about this. I don't know.
It's totally not fitted on my shoulders properly.
Okay, now, but you kind of said it's a little bit. Now you're saying it's not.
No, it's too big. It's
Okay.
too big.
Well, it was $100 tux.
I know. I guess I should have gone a size lower, but it's too big. I might still wear it. Tammy thinks it looks okay, but where do you come out on me? So it came with a vest and a bow tie.
Yeah.
Where do you come out on me taking that black vest and the bow tie and wearing it with my other black suit?
That would be okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
Think so. I think that's probably what I'll end up doing.
That'll dress up the suit that you have.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right? It's a fine suit. I wear it on CFL all the time. The
Yes,
other one.
you stepped up your game, as
Yeah.
we've noted.
I've
in your
tried.
years on CFL and TSN.
I've tried.
And the other thing, too, and I love this, is we're finally going to display our Zapato Sanchez shoes.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
We're going to post that video today. YouTube, Trev is feverishly working to get it up on YouTube, and I will post the video on Twitter. That was our shoe competition that we had. How do you say it again?
Zapato Sanchez.
Zapato Sanchez in West Edmonton Mall.
Go see Rigo.
Made us some great shoes. I'm busting those bad boys out. Can't wait. They're going to look sharp. You think mine will go with yours? Would definitely go with the black with a tux.
Yes.
What about mine? Because I don't have any black in there. Might be a little bit of a weird look.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it would be.
I know.
Unless you had some navy to match the shoes.
I mean, what are you going to throw a navy pocket square in? Not on a black suit.
That might not be enough.
Suit.
I know. Have you worn those shoes, by the way?
I've worn them once.
For a game?
I don't want to waste them.
No, they're amazing.
I've worn
shoes.
them for a game. They were great.
Yeah.
But I mean, these are very nice shoes.
Yeah.
I don't want to wear them like every single CFL game. And now they're not going to get worn out, as he said. They're high quality.
Yeah.
But I just worry about wrecking them. That's how nice they are. They're the
And I
nicest pair of
understand.
shoes I ever had in my entire life.
They fit so good. I've
custom.
worn mine once. I think I wore them for the Stanley Cup final. I think Game 6.
Oh, wow.
Right? That's a big one.
That's a big one. You save them for Game 6. Those are Game 6 shoes right there.
That's right. And then the ESTYs are a big one too with the Tux. So like they're not. These are shoes. The ones that we got, Dusty, are like special occasions. I feel like is a appropriate way to describe them.
Yeah, special occasion shoes.
Yes.
Yeah, but they're awesome. So I don't know. I'll see how they look. Wouldn't mind mixing it up though. But yeah, we're gonna post those shoes on social media today.
Yeah.
And then we'll do a little poll. You can determine who designed the better shoe, myself or handsome Tom
They're
Gazzola.
very different.
Tommy's based on fashion sense alone. Tommy's like a minus 800 favorite. I'm like a 6-1 dog in this competition. But guess what? My dogs be barking. No. I think it'll be woof, woof. I think it'll be pretty good. I think I'll have a shot at it.
The ones you designed and had made are more you could pull off multiple times a week.
Yeah, I think more people would probably purchase the ones that I made.
Agreed.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see.
All right. Well, I'm excited about this because
Video's good too.
Yeah.
Chad's put the video
Did a
together.
good
It looks
job.
real nice. So we'll get that out today. It's a fitting thing the day before the ultimate award show, the ESTYs, to have that ready.
an Awanix unveiling like musical guests.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know one thing that's going on. But then I don't know. I don't know what's
bagpipe thing.
Yeah. Well, there's bagpipes.
Yeah.
Then I know something else is cooking, and then I don't know what's going on with Clausen and Zacticum.
See, that's what I was gonna ask. I'm like, are we gonna?
I think that's an additional thing.
Because like Zacticum, even though he had the floor mopped with him, with him,
Yeah. Zacticum is now trying to like this would be like if Drake and who's the other Drake? Oh, Kendrick Lamar came together on a bit. That would be tough.
even though he had the floor mopped with them, he coming back strong because he's Zacticum.
Oh my God. Don't ever do that again. Don't ever do that again.
I basically mimicked the Zacticum rhyme.
You should see the chain Zacticum's wearing today.
Oh,
It's like a gold
he's got
wrap
like a
chain.
90s
Yeah.
preppy sweater on.
Yeah, he
too.
does. Yeah. What a guy. Anyway, him and Clausen are got something cooking up.
Okay,
There, so.
I figured something like that would be happening.
Yeah. Interesting.
My whole family's coming to this thing too.
Yeah. My parents are
excited.
coming up tomorrow morning, and everybody's excited. So should be a pretty good time. ESTYs are going to be absolutely amazing, and we'll be breaking it down on Wednesday on the Oil Stream for sure. You can text us anytime, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. The boys are keeping tabs on this Oilers-Jets tournament game right now.
Should we talk about?
Has there been anything that moved the needle? Like I read McCurdy's done some good recaps. I haven't watched any of it myself, doing CFL all weekend. I saw some people after the second game saying some good things about Matt Savoy and his ability to get after the puck. Anything you're seeing or hearing from this thing?
So yes, Savoy, like that last game against Calgary, he was all with the second game. He was all over it. Yeah, because they opened it up against Vancouver on Friday night. Him and actually O'Reilly, I thought were a good combination. Listen, a lot of it was Savoy. Savoy should be the best player on the ice in orange and blue and has been. They got some good goaltending from Unger and Day in those first two games where they had to make some big saves. And they had to make some big saves because the defense was very spotty, very porous, scrambly, giving up a lot. And so they're giving up a lot of grade A chances. And listen, this is
They have like three
prospects.
undrafted guys on the back end.
Exactly.
Right? So I didn't really expect anything from
Exactly. But if you're looking at it from an offensive perspective, Savoy looks great. I thought O'Reilly looked good too. And I don't know if it was because of Savoy, and it might be. Or maybe he just reads off of him well because he's a good late first round pick.
Yeah.
And then a little bit of Matvei Petrov, I noticed.
Did you notice a bit of Petrov?
Yeah. Those were my takeaways from the two games thus far, and I have no idea what's going on because they're using my account to watch in there.
Well, EST afternoons with Hernan Salas and Joaquin Gage coming up at 1 o'clock. I'm sure they'll have some thoughts on the first period of this game. And then this afternoon from 3 to 6, the Reed Wilkins show. That'll be going down, and they'll have some thoughts on it as well. So
Yes.
that's coming up here in the afternoon as the guys continue to monitor that game as well. If you're watching over on YouTube, you want to chime in, hit us up in the nasty chat. We're going to get into the rankings of importance as we work our way through the show today. Hey, how about Sid the Kid, eh? 8.7 for a couple more.
Very consistent. Takes them to 40. Right?
Incredible run. We're going to watch him and Ovechkin go through their careers with the same team. And it's just so rare, man. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
This is after watching Stamkos walk away to go to Nashville.
Now, with that being said, if Tampa would have treated me like they treated Stamkos, I would have left and gone to Nashville too.
Julien Brisebois, I've seen him around like in the press box and stuff, and then I've seen him around because all the teams use the gym at the JW, and you see them, they go work out. Like, he is very like meticulous, and I feel like he's the type of guy that he's very stubborn in his ways, and if he feels a certain way, he doesn't go back. So I kind of like hearing Stamkos. Remember the negotiations with Stamkos? Stamkos made some comments publicly. I feel like Brisebois draws a hard line in the sand and doesn't waver from it. And that turned Stamkos off to the point where he's like, you know what? Thank you, Tampa. Peace out. I loved winning Stanley Cups and being your captain and being one of the best players in the last couple of decades. I'm going to Nashville.
He's the ultimate Tampa Bay Lightning.
He should be. Yes.
Right? Like if you're looking at the list of everything for anybody's ever done with Tampa Bay, Stamkos at the top of the list.
Exactly.
It's got to be the greatest member of the Tampa Bay Lightning ever.
And they let him walk.
Yeah.
So Crosby going, post to post with the Penguins doesn't surprise me. Like Matty was talking about him maybe taking a look at going to Colorado and playing with McKinnon, especially at $8.7 million. That's a bargain.
I know.
And I'm not knocking him whatsoever, but it's kind of refreshing to see these guys stick it out over the course of their careers with one team, which used to happen more frequently. Not the case anymore, but Ovechkin's going to do it. Crosby's going to hit 600 goals. He's going to hit 1,600 points. One of the best ever to do it. But you and I think, did it breakdown where we looked at top 5, top 10, and I think we had Crosby in the top 10.
He's a top 10 guy already,
but not top 5.
I don't think he's top 5 yet.
I agree.
But let's see what happens. Like, there's a case for him to be in there. I mean, like the thing with Crosby, and we're going to tie this back around to the Oilers and the big money that these guys are getting, and the fact that Sidney Crosby is going to go 18 years in his career at an $8.7 million cap hit. How much money did this dude leave on the table?
A lot.
Like quite a bit. But if you look at like Sid, it's let's see here.
I also have something to say about the money after as well. 2
Conn Smythes, 2 Art Rosses, like Mario, Wayne, Connor now. I mean, these guys are going to pile up 4, 5, 6, 7 scoring championships, right? Sid got 2.
Right.
It's not like he blew the league away in points every single year.
Yes.
So I think that's probably why he doesn't get up into that top 5-ish. I mean, there's a case he can be just outside the top 5. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 100-point seasons. Missed a bunch of time due to injury.
Yes.
But like Connor's already there. Now Connor doesn't have cups yet. Sid got a cup, 3 years in? Then another one. Like I'd comfortably put him somewhere between 5 and 8.
Yes.
Which I think is 100%. That's awesome. That's great. And Ovi's right there too with the goal scoring abilities. Like it's ridiculous.
Crosby, I mean, and he's been so consistent. What has he had? 6 100-point seasons. He's had a handful of others over 90 points. And the Penguins have essentially been a playoff team for 2 decades.
Yeah.
Minus, the last year or 2. And then his first season, I believe, as well. And they were always in the mix as a cup contender. Like their window, Dusty, has essentially been over 12 to 15 years long, right?
Because of him.
Yeah, exactly.
And Malkin,
obviously. Now, the money thing, like him making $8.7 million for 18 years, like that's a S-ton of money, right?
Oh, yeah, it is.
And then when you make that kind of money, you also have people and you meet people who find ways to take that money and they find investments and other things. So we're talking Crosby by the time his career's over. Yeah, we'll be like, well, he won or he made, $150 million, let's say, over the course of his career. But then he has people and friends and investments, and he'll probably be in the hundreds of millions of dollars. So maybe that's why, to me at least, he's content being like, no, I'm just good with 8.7.
780-218-9999. You can text us if you want to chime in here. The Gourdfather says, Wayne, Mario, Bobby, McDavid, Sid, top 5 all time. I mean, the reason I don't have Crosby up on that level with Wayne and Mario and where Connor's probably headed if he can deliver a couple of titles. Wayne Gretzky was 1.92 points per game.
Yeah.
Mario Lemieux is 1.88 points per game. McDavid's 1.52. Sid's at 1.25, which is still top 10 all time, but it's not in that stratosphere of like, oh my God, these are ridiculous numbers.
Where's Gordie Howe in all of this? That's another thing, too.
Yeah, Gordie Howe, I mean, it's way different. He's a completely different conversation, yeah.
Right? Where's Mark Messier?
The other guy didn't even mention Bobby Orr. Bobby Orr's got to be up there.
Bobby Orr's in there, right? Gourdfather has Bobby Orr in there.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Bobby.
Wayne, Mario, Bobby, McDavid, Sid, top 5 all time. There's probably people out there that would put Ovechkin ahead of Crosby. Not a lot of Canadians, I'm sure, but there's some. There'll probably be hockey people that say Ovechkin over Crosby. I don't agree with that. I think Crosby all around better player, more championships, internationally, more consistent.
The one thing is that Ovi will go down as the greatest of something.
Goal scorer of all time.
Whereas Sid doesn't. Like, Sid doesn't go down as the greatest of anything.
He's not the greatest leader. He's not the greatest goal scorer.
I think he'd probably be up there in that captain conversation, but he's not. Yeah. You're right. You know, like Sid doesn't. Wayne Gretzky might be the greatest player of all time, depending on who you talk to. I think he is. Mario, though, is right there for me as like a 1A right there as far as the greatest player of all time goes.
Yeah.
Connor McDavid is already being viewed as the most talented player in the history of the National Hockey League. Bobby Orr is the greatest defenseman of all time. Right. It was a ridiculous offensive run. Alexander Ovechkin could go into the conversation, or will be, if not already, the greatest goal scorer of all time. And he tacked on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Rocket Richards. He won more Hart trophies than Sid. He got the Art Ross in there as well. He won a Calder. He did get the Conn Smythe. So, I mean, the conversation's very close. And, his point per game isn't as high as Crosby's, but he's also at 1,550 points, which is right there with Sid. So, I mean, they're both phenomenal talents. I think they should both be top 10 when it's all said and done, but there's always a discussion about
top 10, 100%. I'm with you. Top 5, that's where I'm like.
But to get a guy at 18 years at 8.7 million is like, so Sidney Crosby's value never wavered. It was just always like 8 points. Like, that's insane.
How much do you think the PA is like, oh my God, just take more, please?
Yeah.
Sid
calls his own shots.
That ship sailed 5 years ago.
It did. I mean, that being said, I still think he's worth more than 8.7 right now.
I 100% agree. He had 94 points
Sidney
last
Crosby's
year.
a $10 million player right now, and he still just took 8.7.
He had 42 goals, 52 assists last year at 36 years of age. Career earnings or estimated career earnings, $150 million. 450,000.
He's done okay.
He'll have investments in property and this and that. He'll double that in all the other stuff he'll be involved with quietly, because that seems to be his MO.
All right, it is the Oil Stream, brought to you by Boston Pizza. Thank you very much for being here with us today. If you have any thoughts on, maybe if you want to talk a little bit of Crosby today, we certainly can with that news going down. We're going to have Josh Yohe on from Pittsburgh tomorrow morning on the Nielson Show, 7:35, to just talk about the what he's done, what they still like. Does he still think they could kind of ride it out now in Pittsburgh, right? Yeah. But you have a chance to become the Penguins' all-time leading scorer. You've already accomplished everything. Yes. It's the most Sidney Crosby way to go out, kind of quietly in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
right? As he's a superstar that's kind of quietly flown under the radar for a long time.
Great segue, because McDavid is going to hit his, was it 1,000th this year?
Yep.
And then there's another milestone coming up. And with that comes a gold stick from the NHL. I was talking to some people from the Oilers, and they're like, yeah, so we're trying to set this up with him and see what kind of celebration he wants. And he's like, I don't want anything.
Yeah.
They're like, you only hit 1,000 points once. Kind of a big deal, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Well, let me share a little story with you here. When Michael Jordan hit 30,000 points, other people had already done it, and they still stopped the game and gave him a trophy.
Right.
Go look it up. When LeBron James hit 40,000, which nobody had done, they were like a round of applause. The game didn't stop, and they just continued on.
Here we go.
So some people want to be treated in different ways. Michael Jordan was one of them. LeBron James and Connor McDavid are the others. Ta-da! That's just facts. Once again,
drop that mic.
Just facts.
Okay.
I'm not making stuff up. Go look it up. So yeah, we got that going for us today. Let's get to your spicy headlines, brought to you by Popeyes. If you want to get your hands on some Popeyes, may we suggest the classic chicken sandwich.
Yes.
Because it's the best damn chicken sandwich you're ever going to eat in your entire life. Find it at Popeyes. All right, so Stoff says the Oilers are going to trade for D-Man.
Yeah, sure.
Does it happen before or after the trade deadline? Like before or at the trade deadline? Because Stoff goes, they're going to look, and everybody's like, oh my God, they're trading for D-Man right now. And I don't technically think that's the case. I'm sure they've talked about a bunch of guys, but it still seems to me like this is a trade deadline deal when it's all said and done. Is it not?
At some point during the season, and likely if it's not right at the deadline, similar to what we saw with Ekholm. But obviously the plan is to improve the defense, especially on the right side. We'll see what happens between Emberson, Brown, Stetcher, and now Dermott with his PTO. Now we're gonna see how long Darnell's out for in training camp. All indicators point to him being ready by the end of camp, like I was saying last week. But you know what that has done in the days since I put that out there? It has people reminiscing about last year with Matthias Ekholm. And I think that's a fair
point.
Critique.
100% a fair point.
Because, Dusty, you remember last year we were getting ready for the season, and I'd go down to the rink. Jay Woodcroft would come and talk. Be like, we'll see him soon. Oh, he's not out there. Oh, we'll see him. He's preparing. He's getting ready. And it was, a couple days turned into a week into a 2-week thing. And then they didn't get him out there till game number 2 because they got shelled by the Canucks in game 1. And then they rolled him out for game 2. The team played a little bit better, but they ultimately lost. And they started the season, 0-5? And so I think people being leery like that, bringing up Ekholm last year, given what was said to everyone publicly last year and what actually happened with Ekholm, I think that's a fair caution to kind of adhere to.
So this is a very interesting conversation. And once we get going with games, we won't be sitting here talking about the right shot D-man all the time, unless, of course, their options suck.
I feel like
if their options suck.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying we'll have more things to discuss than just a random tweet here and there about trade rumors. But as you were talking, I just kind of wrote this down, and I was like, okay, well, why wait until the trade deadline? Because... and I know the theory would be, let's ride it out with some of these guys, see what they have.
Right.
Stetcher plays well. Guess what happens? They still trade for somebody at the trade deadline.
Absolutely.
Emberson looks like he can play with Darnell Nurse kind of okay. Guess what happens? They're still going to trade for somebody at the trade deadline. Right. So, we can say, fans should just sit here and watch them and kind of ride it out. But no matter what it does, I mean, I still think they're going to want... They're still going to have to address it at some point.
Yes.
So why not move on it when you can, right?
Right.
Don't just wait till the deadline.
That rationale I agree with. I'm on board with. The only thing is what is available on the market. And what happens
the problem,
is
right?
Guys shake loose. Things pop up. Guys fall out of favor with coaches.
But I guess what we're saying,
those
if one of those
scenarios play
guys
out.
shakes loose off the tree in December,
get 'em.
don't sit there and go, nah, we're waiting till the deadline. Because
Yeah.
you're going to replace these guys
Yeah.
at the deadline anyway.
Very fair. Now, sometimes, you know, the teams sniff around and they find out that maybe a guy might be available, and it takes a little bit of time for that to develop or to come to fruition. But you're right. Act quickly, especially if it's glaringly obvious during the season that there's big time deficiencies on the right side on D, which we anticipate there being potentially some.
Boys, what's the score of the game?
0-0, but we've had a fight.
Oh, another fight. I absolutely love it. Was it the Clattenburg kid who's fought a couple times?
Yeah.
I love these kids who are fighting, thinking that's going to win them a spot in the National Hockey
There's
League.
so much fighting in the NHL. these days.
I mean, there's more fighting in these camps than there is in junior hockey now.
Well, you're
I
not
don't know
allowed
what's
to in the
going on.
QMJHL.
Yeah.
You just can't.
I don't know. I just don't think you're accomplishing anything by going to this tournament and fighting three guys. I
love Matt
don't
Rempe.
get it.
I love Matt Rempe. But how about another thing too? How about the Maple Leafs going into Montreal and wearing their practice jerseys for a game? Did you see that?
Say this again.
The Maple Leafs go and play the Habs.
Yeah.
The rookies do. And the Leafs wear their practice jerseys.
Just their practice jerseys.
Yes.
Well, because you've not earned the ability yet to wear the Maple Leaf jersey.
Is that arrogance, or is it just it's just
It's probably
rookie
just
game.
it's a rookie game.
Now-
But so that being said, it'd be cool for those kids who might never get a chance to come to another rookie camp
Yeah.
to wear the Leafs jersey.
yes? That's what I was.
Yeah, that's weird
They
to me
put
then.
like season A's on them. Of course, their name and numbers were on them. But that was like the Habs roll out and they're wearing their full like traditional red jersey, and then the Leafs. I'm like, what are they
look,
wearing?
man.
It's a practice jersey.
One franchise has always done it right. The other hasn't. it's I know Leafs fans might not want to hear it, but like every time the Habs do a ceremony, they
do.
nail it.
Yeah, they do.
They get it right every time. They always have. So it doesn't surprise me that, like, if you were to tell me which one of these two teams is going to wear practice jerseys at a game, and I had to decide, I would have 100%. It would be the Toronto Maple Leafs.
and they
Simple
did.
as that.
I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
Why? You know that the league or the manufacturers give them these jerseys, right? Like, or you could do what other teams have done in the past. The Oilers did it when they switched back to the traditional orange and blues. For Penticton, they had leftover navy blue and bright orange, and they just put those on their guys. Like, you have leftover stuff. Like, I'm sure
Give them
they're-
whatever. Like,
Yeah, like don't give
Yeah.
the kids practice jerseys. For
I
a
do like
game
the idea of a
in Montreal,
I do like the idea of a national hockey team like pinching pennies on practice jerseys.
especially the Leafs.
Like, come on, man.
I know. Anyway, I just thought that was interesting, but it also made me think this. You know, we talk about the NBA and they have the summer league, and they, you know, how they have a little bit. The uniforms are very similar to the team's actual uniforms, but it's like a variation. What if for rookie camps, NHL teams roll out like a rookie jersey? Think of the merchandising possibility.
Yeah. Well, who did I saw that had the tweet about the Hawks and Ducks jerseys and doing it from the Mighty Ducks, where the Chicago Blackhawks wear Hawks jerseys?
Oh,
The Black Hawk, you know, like the old, and then
if Disney got on
yeah, if
board,
there's, like that would be cool. I think that would be.
I want to see how much a Fanatics jersey is.
This one's in. It says, as much as that we have to be, we're gonna have more on the new jerseys with Jack from Pro-Am as soon as he's allowed to speak about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's going to be in studio next Monday with the jersey. And we're going
Okay.
to get a good look at it.
Well, I'm just looking at NHL Shop. If you want a McDavid men's Fanatics Royal Home Premier Pro Breakaway player jersey,
It's way too long a name.
$194.99. But then if you want men's Edmonton Oilers Fanatics Royal Home Premier Breakaway custom jersey, it's $254. What?
That doesn't add up.
But one of them looks like the Adidas ones.
Well, we'll get to the bottom
Jack
of all
will
the
be able
yeah,
to
we'll get to
know.
the
Yeah.
bottom of all of it on
Yeah.
Monday with Jack. That's why he's coming in on Monday and talk about this jersey stuff.
Yeah. Interesting.
This text is in. It says, as much as I hate the Habs, they are the gold standard for ceremonies.
There.
No one beats them. Cozy says, hey, fellas, is Stan Bowman known for making moves prior to the deadline like Rutherford seems to do? I mean, I don't care what the history is. If you're a contending team, you'll make a move prior to the deadline. That's how it works.
Yeah. I also want to remind people that it's Bowman and Jackson. They're working as a tandem.
a dynamic duo.
Batman
The
and Robin.
second best dynamic duo in the city behind MBT and Trey Ford.
Who were at the
They were at the
CCMAs.
CCMAs.
Very good.
Oh, you know what? Hernan was saying we should get Evan Dom from the Elks to do a presentation at the ESTYs. He's coming. He'd be funny. Yeah, he's coming. EJ's coming. A bunch of the Elks guys are coming.
Do you see Dahmer on game day? Because when I see him on the sidelines, like he'll shake my hand, but then like just give me side eye.
Well, he hates me right now.
Oh, what'd you do?
We took Hernan.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Whoopsies. that old thing.
I was walking out of. Hernan was very important to them, and
Yes, he
came to
was.
us. And so Dahmer and I are tight. We worked in Golden Bears broadcast forever. We're good buddies.
Yeah.
But Hernan, they signed like a card for Hernan.
Yeah.
Did Hernan tell you this? They signed a card for Hernan, and in the card it said, "Hey Hernan, we'll miss you. Best of luck. Also tell Dusty to F himself." And then I was walking out of a game after doing a game for TSN. I was walking over to Lot C, and Dahmer comes driving up in his little car beside me, and he unrolls his window. I said, "Hey man, you're already out of here, leaving before me. I thought you run this place." And he looked at me and he's just like, "I'm leaving." And then he said something vulgar and drove away again. So, But anyway, he's coming to the ESTYs, so maybe we'll be able to make up at the ESTYs.
I hope
He'll
so.
probably want to go do Tuesday night karaoke somewhere
At Rosie's?
which I'm not opposed to.
Well,
I'm not opposed to.
we're
We'll see
right
how-
across the street from Rosie's when we go to the after party.
Actually, you're right. Hudson's is very close to there.
It is very close.
Yeah, but it's
conveniently.
Tuesday night.
Yeah.
How late is Hudson's going to stay open Tuesday night? I was already worried about this.
Great question. We'll talk to Connor. He's the
I'm
manager.
assuming
there.
he'll just keep it open until
Probably.
like
We get a
the
good
latest
turnout.
they can possibly keep it
Yeah.
open. Should be a pretty good time. So yeah, ESTYs are going down tomorrow here on Edmonton Sports Talk. You can text us anytime 780-218-9999. You can hit us up over in the nasty chat as well. Let's get into some rankings here. Let's
do
get
it.
into some rankings of power. You got the
Importance.
full list. You want to recap the list up until where? Oh, here I got it right here.
Did it load for you?
Oh, I got it. Oh, I got it. Yeah. Noah Philp, honorable mention. Olivier Rodrigue, 25. James Hamlin, 24. Josh Brown, 23. Matt Savoy, 22. Ty Emberson, 21. I tell you, if Emberson ends up being that low, they're going to have to trade for a D-man a hell of a lot quicker. You know?
Yeah.
Pod Colson at 20. I would have had him higher. Derek Ryan, Corey Perry, 18, 19. I would have had him ahead those other two guys.
Really?
Yeah. I think I told you that when we did it. Just because, he's young and can skate.
Jeff Patterson gave a great breakdown of podcast.
Yeah, we had him on there. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
he
saying.
Was, he liked him.
Right. It's just
Said he could be
fresh
physical.
start.
Yeah. Stetcher, 17. Pickard, 16. And this is the part I missed on Friday. I was really sad that I wasn't around for this.
It was a good one.
Matthias Janmark, 15. Connor Brown, 14. Evander Kane, 13. Kulak, 12. Arvidsson, 11. Can I ask a question from this?
That's what I was going to say. Any thoughts
my
on
one,
that?
My one question
grouping?
here is,
Yeah.
is Evander Kane where he is because of his injury? Is Evander Kane where why is it? Because a healthy Evander Kane, I think, is much higher on this list.
Agreed.
So how do you explain just where he ends up on this list?
Fair question. I'm glad you brought it up. So, because of how this list was created too, I sent it into you 2 weeks ago, I believe. Before we got word or finally, it sounds like Kane is going to get his surgeries. I said it last week on the show. This was before we knew more detail.
Yeah.
And it was the ambiguity of his situation, knowing okay, he's clearly not at 100% health. And B, what is his strategy? Is he ready to go get surgery? Does the team want him to go get surgery? Are they going to try to find a way to get him healthy enough to play without doing the surgeries? So there's all that ambiguity behind it that I'm like, this brings him down the list. And what is his, I don't know what his future is with the team. And I reiterate the fact that I think when he's healthy and dialed in, he is a high impact player and he tilts the scales in your favor, whatever team he's on.
If he's healthy and dialed in, I'd have him at minimum. I'm looking at the rest of your list right now. He'd at minimum be number 9.
Yes.
He'd be ahead of the number 9 guy.
I might even have him at number 8, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, the guy at 8, you really need to.
you need.
Yeah, you need him, right?
But
That's
lately
a good team.
you can't
I mean,
rely
that's
on
a great
him,
top 10 this
right?
year, like these guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you
So-
can't rely on him. Yeah.
So that is why Kane dropped down in this list. because we know he's not going to be healthy. Now we know he's headed to surgery. Skill, ability, track record. When he's dialed in, this guy's a top 10 player. For some teams, he would be top 5. But the health issue, how he finished last season, how it all ended, like that knocked him down a few pegs on this list. You're not going to see him out of the gate.
What was the follow like on Friday's oil stream after you broke that news on Thursday?
About
the Kane stuff and
the Nurse.
The fact that, well, not so much Nurse. We know Nurse is going to play.
Yeah.
But the fact that Kane's dealing with the same thing he was dealing midway through last season, is it not?
A lot of people going, what the hell are the Oilers doing?
That's what I
Why didn't
figured.
they do this last year? Why didn't they do it in the offseason? That's the other thing too, Dusty, is like part of it is the player has to agree to this stuff too.
Well, then why would he not want to get this taken care of? That's the thing. Like, why would the player not want to be like, yeah, I would also like to be healthy again? That doesn't make sense to me.
Well, there was talk. People were surprised, even within the organization, when McDavid wasn't getting surgery in the offseason.
Yeah.
So if there's methods to treat these injuries.
But there obviously hasn't been for Kane.
I know.
Because now we're sitting here and he's going to need surgery. And look, I'm not critiquing them for this because we've seen other teams do it, but it very much looks like it's just working out really well that they can manipulate the cap as much as they can.
And there's that element to maybe this is, well, let's see how he progresses in the offseason. And that might be strategic on the Oilers' part too.
And I know people are like, oh, we'll see how he gets back. But I remember a conversation I had with some of the organization during Holinka. And they're just like, yeah, if we get Vander into surgery, he's going to be out for a very long time. So very long to me is like February at the earliest. Was the vibe I got then. And he said if he goes in, he might have to have like multiple things operated on. So
both sides, apparently.
Yeah, exactly.
And
which is not your normal recovery.
The key word, listen, man, you had this conversation during the Holinka, which was a month and a half ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago. And they were still like...
if they're saying if the key word there is if.
Yeah.
That tells me it's like they weren't sure.
Yeah, he said, I think the exact quote was, we still have to figure out what's happening with Evander. So, and I like the sense I got was like they were not expecting him, but like if he goes for surgery and the timing of this when he goes for surgery, I mean, if for some reason he doesn't play all year and then's back for the play, I personally will not be surprised. I know that's not how it's going to be viewed, but I personally would not be surprised if that happens. So we'll see. And you know what? With Evander Kane, get right. Because you're still a really, really, really good player when you're healthy.
Yes.
Right? So get that stuff taken care of, man. All right. Let's roll into this. Number 10. Now, I guess this comes with a caveat as well because 11 had a caveat. Is that right? Because he said 11 could be 10, 10 could be 11.
Yeah, sure.
Jeff Skinner, number 10 on the list.
Jeff Skinner, number 10.
More impactful than Arvidsson. Interesting.
Perhaps.
No, perhaps. You put him higher on the list.
Okay, fine. If Victor Arvidsson, we question, can he stay healthy? We had Dennis Bernstein on the Nielson show on Friday morning, and DB said the Kings essentially said, thank you, Victor. We're going to let you walk. And a lot of it had to do with injuries, Dusty. So Jeff Skinner generally stays healthy. Jeff Skinner, as Joe DiBiase pointed out, doesn't create his own offense. He's, spotty in his own zone. But what he does do to an elite level is score. He's a finisher. He's an offensive guy. He's not physical. He's small. He skates well. But if you're putting him with a guy that can set him up, like a McDavid or a Draisaitl, he's going to get his cookies. So that's why I put Skinner ahead. Health, and then the prime opportunity to just finish and create offense, and then hopefully he can be adequate in his own zone. But he's going to have McDavid or Draisaitl.
I fully agree with you. Health, goal scoring ability.
Yeah.
To me, that puts him above the list.
Yeah.
So I think that puts him above on the list.
Think how good power play 2 is going to be now.
God, that's got to be that's like being like the backup catcher in Major League Baseball.
Right?
Just sort of sit around in the pen.
You don't make fun of Charlie O'Brien
like still
that.
Get paid okay, like Charlie O'Brien. Good one. All right, this next guy, I'm a little intrigued on your reasoning on this guy.
Okay.
Because I think I might have him below the two guys he was just above.
Really?
But I don't know. Let's get into it. Number 9 on Tommy Gazzola's ranking of importance for the 24-25 season, Adam Henrique.
Yes. Adam Henrique. Great pickup. Turned out to be at the trade deadline. A lot of people remember, Dusty, we were doing the trade deadline day, and a lot of people didn't like the price.
Yeah.
But then Henrique comes in, solidifies the top 9, plays wing, plays center, does it adequately, chipped in with offense, kills penalties. I think there is still a versatile player. He had a 50-plus point season last year. Is he going to get that this year? I don't know. I think if you get 40 to 50 from Henrique in a third-line center role, sometimes moonlighting on the wing in the top 6, and he does kill penalties. He does go on power play, too, with Jeff Skinner. And sometimes they score a goal in their
Stop talking about power play 2
seconds.
like it's a thing. Like those guys, when they signed here, they must have been told by Jeff Jackson, hey, just a heads up, you got no power play time.
You're on power play, too.
No power play time for you.
Yeah.
Like there's just no way.
Yeah. Anyway, I think his versatility. We talk about Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, the way he touches all facets of the game and all areas of the ice. I think to a lesser extent, Adam Henrique does the same. He's older than Nugent-Hopkins, and he's maybe not as speedy. Nugent-Hopkins
He'll spend most of the year in the bottom 6, though.
Probably.
Which is why I thought it was a little high to have him this high on the list when he's just a bottom 6 guy.
I find his versatility to be a big asset, and you can slide him around anywhere. He generally doesn't let you down or doesn't have any missteps in his game. And I just think he's a rock-solid player, and that's what put him ahead of Skinner and Arvidsson, in my opinion, is he's a guy that you can essentially use in all situations. Is he going to wow you and dazzle you? Not generally, but he's clutch at times. Remember that's some of the goals he scored in the playoffs?
He knows where to be when he has to be
Yeah.
there. He does. I admire him as a player.
Yes.
For sure.
So his all-around game and versatility is what put him ahead of Arvidsson and Skinner, in my opinion, in the 24-25 rankings of importance.
All right, the next guy I might have at least a spot higher too.
Yeah.
Maybe. It really depends on like how much you think the team needs to rely on him, right? But if number 8 on the list has a good season, the Oilers are going to be a great hockey team. Mm-hmm. Darnell Nurse, number 8 on the list.
Number 8. His poor performance in the postseason. I know he was nicked up. He didn't have a outstanding regular season. He was okay in the regular season, I think is a fair way to describe it. Like, people stopped putting the spotlight on him negatively when the team started to win more games. Now, did he play up to the level of a $9.25 million player, Dusty? No, he did not.
No.
And I think we can all agree on that. But when it comes to overall his impact on this team, what he should be, what he's capable and has done for this team in the past, and that is be a steady player all around. Like, his defensive game has deficiencies. Joaquin talks about how he goes down and will like half commit to a shot block, but then not, dive. And then sometimes he goes all out and flat out belly down on the ice at other points. His decision making sometimes come into question, but when he's dialed in, he can be a pillar on this team. His game needs to be much better this year. That's why I dropped him down behind a couple of people on this list. Darnell Nurse is number 8 because
he couldn't possibly be any lower. Where
he
like
needs to
that.
be
This is
higher.
where he should be higher.
Yes,
This is his low end 8th best player on the team.
correct.
I don't think if Henrique or Skinner / Arvidsson
Thank you.
end up becoming more important to this team than Darnell Nurse this year, Oilers are in trouble,
That's a problem.
right?
Big time.
I think so.
Big time. Yeah, and I'll throw in one other thing why Nurse is at 8 is because the guys ahead of him are that much more impactful and are going to need to be relied upon. But Darnell Nurse should be, you could almost make a case for him as high as 6 on this team. But
Yeah.
his performance lately,
Should I do a poll with him in 7?
sure.
I think that'd be a good one.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get to number 7 then. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, number 7 on the list. Why is he more important than Nurse?
Well, he's more reliable.
I mean, he's more consistent.
Yeah,
That's
he's
right.
more consistent. He's more reliable. Not to say he's a perfect player, but Like I said earlier with Adam Henrique, Nugent Hopkins touches all aspects and facets of the game. Penalty kill, power play. Is he a driver on his line? No. Is he the fastest guy? No. Does he always have great games, especially defensively? No. He had a terrible game in Minnesota last year where I think they got shelled for 5 and he was on for 4 of them. And he was kind of caught in no man's land. But I think that was an anomaly for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. When he's dialed in, he's probably the best complementary piece to all the skill finishers on the team. An offensive creator.
He can play with whoever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Does he do it in a sexy way that you're like, oh my God, Nugent-Hopkins today, did you see what he did? Not always. But he'll surprise you with a brilliant play from time to time. It's the subtle things. It's the consistency that the coaches love about him. And that's why, and way more consistent than Nurse was last year. That's why he's ahead of Nurse and in at number 7 on the rankings of importance this year.
I've just thrown the question up on Twitter. And let's see, who's more important to the Oilers this season? Nurse is at 82.2% of the vote.
After 23 seconds?
45 votes. Yeah, that's quick. People love voting on this stuff. The Derek Ryan, Corey Perry one ended up in like a 50-50 split.
Right.
Which was unbelievable. So you can go vote on that over my Twitter account, which is still, for some reason, at Nielsen TSN 1260.
Did you not change it?
No, I haven't figured out how to. I don't know where I want to go yet. I don't know.
Nielsen
I don't know what this Nielsen EST.
How about just Dustin Bartholomew Nielsen?
Yeah, maybe that's a nice short name there. I'll have to figure it out at some point. That's number 7 on the list. So we've got Jeff Skinner at 10, Henrique at 9, Nurse at 8, Nuge at 7, Zach Hyman at number 6.
Yeah, this one I stand by. This is a 50-goal scorer. This is a guy that continues to improve his game as he gets older. I don't know how much further he can push his ceiling, but he's one of those guys that whenever you discount him, he proves you wrong. And if he can have remotely as good of an offensive season as he did last year, if he can get to 40 this season, Dusty, I think people should be pretty satisfied. You know what you're going to get. He's going to muck goals. He's going to grind it out. He's going to cycle. He's going to be a little spark plug and a little pain in the ass for defensemen in front of the net, and he's going to score the ugliest goals, but they all count. So Zach Hyman, he'll be on either McDavid or Draisaitl's line all season long. If he can stay healthy, is an absolute weapon for this team. That's why he's ahead of Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. He's a model of consistency, and I think his attitude's great. This guy's a pillar on the team. And so I put him in at number 6 because Edmonton's so saturated with offensive talent that a guy that had 50 goals winds up 6th on this list.
Max says I should change my name to Nielsen LeBron Lover 6.
That's a good one.
I don't mind that. With Hyman, and I know it's been a few years now, but I still remember kind of rolling my eyes back when he was a Leaf, when we'd have like Dreger and Noodles and those guys on at the old station.
Yep.
And I'd be like, with Zach Hyman, you want one of them on every single line. Like, he's just that type of guy. You want him on all 3 lines. And I was like, oh my God, enough already. We get it. You love Zach Hyman. But then now, like, Hyman's been here and you look and you're like, yes, I would love to have Zach Hyman, the same player, on the first line, the second line, the third line.
Right.
I think it'd be just as effective no matter where he is. So I never forget those guys saying that. And I was always like, we finish up shows, I'd be like, oh, Hyman again. I love this guy. But I can see why. No matter where this dude is, everybody fanboys over him. And it's 100% justifiable.
Yes.
Because he's just one of the best, man. What a pickup. Ken Holland, you're a legend.
Yeah. Night 1 of the regular season, he will hit 400 points. That's the Tommy Gazzola.
What's he at? 391?
399. 399.
That's a big night joke right there.
Hey-o. Anyway, he's so good that the Oilers went and signed Zach Hyman light last season.
Connor Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zach Hyman, like super duper light.
Feather light?
Yeah, it's like if Zach Hyman's a heavyweight, like 80% of the year, Connor Brown's like a featherweight.
Okay.
Playoff Connor Brown was like a middleweight.
Well, he was the new Mike Pekka.
Well, it got him pretty high on the list.
Yeah.
Got him pretty high on the list. Where did he come in? 14th.
Yeah.
My goodness. All right, so that's the last 5, the most recent 5 names on the list. Skinner at 10, Henrique at 9, Nurse at 8, Nuge at 7, Hyman at 6. I like it. I think I probably would have put Nurse. No, I would have. Not probably. I would have put Nurse ahead of Nuge, possibly ahead of Hyman on rankings of importance, not how they've played recently, right? So the top 5 is good. The top 5 is good.
Yeah.
I think I'd have exactly your top 5 in my top 5 in that order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't even technically think it's debatable.
Reed and I went through the list and we generally agreed. We had a few.
Where did Reed come out on this Nurse Nuge thing?
I can't remember. But I think he understood my rationale. The poll.
Yeah, we had 157 votes.
Even more now.
Oh, 188.
194.
Oh, wow. Well, geez, this is moving quick.
68.6% Darnell Nurse more important than Nuge.
Okay, so 31.8% still thinking Nuge is more important. Yeah. I think that justifies where you had him on the list.
I'm not going to use another caveat.
Are you sure? I think I don't even think you should get one a year, but maybe we give you one caveat a year.
I had my caveat.
I know, so no more.
Skinner Arvidsson.
That's it.
Yeah, no.
I
stand by Nugent Hopkins. Like Nurse should be higher.
Oil Stream is presented to you by Boston Pizza. I'm emailing with Tara about a September live show, so more details on that coming up. But I did want to get to this as well. I tweeted this out a little bit earlier today. Cam from GCL Diesel came over today and signed his deal with us. He just got back from Germany. We got a big business deal here. Like not like our deal's big for us, but this guy's a wheeler and dealer in like the business. So he just got back from Germany. Doing some work stuff there, and then he's flying to LA tomorrow, and then he's going to his place in Phoenix for a bit. And I emailed him the deal, and he goes, "Oh, I'll get to this when I come back." I said, well, "Why don't you just?" They're not GCL Diesel's not far from me.
No, I know.
He's like, "Why don't you just?" I said, "Why don't you pop over? We'll do like a signing picture." He's like, "I'd love that." So yeah, he came over. He sat right where you're sitting.
Perfect.
And he signed. I put it out. The huge thanks to GCL Diesel for coming on board with Edmonton Sports Talk. They started last year with the pre and post game show, presenting sponsor of the Oil Stream pre and post game. They're back for that all of this season. They're on board with the Orange and Blue Breakfast on the Nielsen show, and they're doing the Oil Understood on the Reed Wilkins show.
Oil.
So big time,
Understood
by GCL Diesel.
Yes,
Diesel Understood. So means a lot to us. To GCL Diesel, not only to like hop on board last year, but to realize that it's a good thing going on over here and to extend on a much bigger deal for this year. And they're just beauties, absolute beauties over there, man.
Lots of our partners, that's the best part. And we get to know them. And then I think the other line that you like to use is advertising with us works.
Yeah. I mean, it's advertising, but it's also kind of a partnership. You know, like we want to do business with good people and work with good people. And Cam and the crew over there, good dudes.
Yes. I'll throw another group of good people, Curtis and the crew at Boston Pizza Westgate.
Yes.
And the BPs, proud sponsor of the Oil Stream. They have 6 o'clocker lager.
They do.
In can form, and looks like we're probably going to be doing a little bit
working
more
on
with them.
working on a couple games there a month too, so that'll be a lot of fun.
Yes.
As well, watch for the shoe video. Tommy and I designed our own shoes at
Zapato Sanchez
in the mall, and it's ESTYs time. It's time to dress up. It's time to reveal the shoes. I think you'll like mine way more than Tommy's, but it's gonna be good.
I'd like mine so much.
You do like yours.
I do. I love them.
I kind of designed what I thought, like I was trying to win a vote. I think you designed shoes that you didn't have and you wanted a pair.
That
right?
is 100% accurate. Yes.
So we'll see. We'll do a little poll and everything. It should be a lot of fun. We've got EST afternoons coming up right now. Hernan Salas and Joaquin Gage taking you from 1 to 3. The Reed Wilkins Show from 3 until 6 today, right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. If you're watching on YouTube, turn on autoplay. It'll take you right on over to EST afternoons. If you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, we've got you covered. Don't go anywhere. EST afternoons. On the way next. For Tom Gazzola, I'm Dustin Nielson. Thank you very much for listening to and watching the Oil Stream.